How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. 3AC founders to donate future earnings to creditors citing good karma. So 3AC, the new 3AC, during a recent Twitter session hosted by IBC Group, revealed their plan to allocate a portion of the future earnings from OPNX to assist with affected creditors. This philanthropic initiative stands apart from the ongoing liquidation proceedings and aims to provide additional support to those who lost funds. We firmly believe that by doing good and offering creditors a chance to recover more, we can create a positive impact. If we falter and they prosper, then that's great, and that's good karma, whatever you choose to call it. So they're hopefully going to do it. We're going to have to hold them to their word. Obviously verified, don't trust is the world of crypto. Cryptocurrencies must get ready to comply, UK financial regulator. That's kind of why I had to deny a sponsor for our Discord, but we do have one sponsor. I will be able to announce that soon, and our Discord is very close to launching. So again, if you want in on it, you want to be part of the early launch, we can accept a few more people, so leave a comment. The Financial Conduct Authority for the United Kingdom has announced that the companies promoting cryptocurrencies to UK customers must abide by their existing financial promotion regime by October 8th, 2023. So they're going to have some new rules that people must apply. This will apply to websites, social media posts, mobile apps, and online advertising. The announcement read that companies will need to apply for registration and pay a fee if they are approved. So you'll have an application process you need to go through in order to do any kind of advertising in the UK for crypto. The financial regulator is also requesting companies clarify what steps they are taking with regard to the notice. Firms have until August 4th to report back to the request through the regime doesn't go into effect until later this year. Earlier last month, authorities in the UK began a consulting process to provide the necessary guidelines for companies operating crypto asset financial promotions. So they do have a process for some people to follow if they want to be within the UK and promote within the UK. New Bitcoin standard BRC-69 removes data limit for Ordinals. So this is somewhat good for Ordinals here. The BRC-69 standard went into effect Monday, and it brings an innovative way to reduce time and costs it currently takes to make an inscription. It does this by it removes the 4 megabyte limit and makes the limit limitless, and this bypasses the limit by doing recursive inscriptions. Recursive inscriptions are a mechanism that allow users to extract data from existing inscriptions and use them to create new ones. So this allows the person to create a new inscription by only changing a single line of text instead of the full image and everything associated with the inscription. This allows the final image to automatically be rendered on the Ordinals front end, and it uses solely on-chain resources thanks to this recursive inscription. So it really cuts down what will need to be scrubbed, and it says it reduced the cost by more than 90% and the time. So this is a very good leap for Bitcoin Ordinals. Over on the charts, we are getting a little bit of a drop for our total market cap. A little bit of an indecision candle, so watch out. We do have a green candle that says we want to get a bullish run, but I would just watch out as our stochastic is making a bearish cross. RSI is starting to fall, VWAP is falling, heading toward that neutral. Our money flow is rejecting away from that neutral, and our momentum is starting to curl out because our VWAP is falling. Over on Bitcoin dominance here, our RSI is falling, getting lower highs, so we are pushing down. Our stochastic is pushing away. It is trying to get a bullish cross, but it's not really going anywhere currently. Our momentum is coming down as our VWAP is still in the bearish territory. It is trying to come up, but it's struggling to get past the 6 zone. So we'll have to see if it can break through and actually gain some momentum, or if it starts to roll away here. Our money flow overall is starting to round out still, so we are still stair-stepping down. So we could see this still continue if we don't see the money flow start to reverse. Over on our futures, we tried to get a little bit of a pump, but we ultimately started to fall away today. Our stochastic is starting to diverge away. We are getting a little bit of a bearish push here. RSI is pointing down with a red dot that could confirm. Our momentum wave is about to curl down. Our VWAP got a little bit of a spike, but didn't go anywhere and is still riding above that neutral line. Our money flow is rejecting away from that neutral, so our money flow is starting to come out, and we're setting up some more red candles here, so just watch out, as if we set more red candles, we could start to drop from this zone and ultimately fall through our value area high if we are not careful. Over on Bitcoin, we are getting a little bit of a run up. This is kind of hard to see. Let's push this backwards. Send backwards a little. Alright, that didn't do too much for us. That green is pretty solid on Bitcoin. But we are getting a little bit of a drop here within our channel, so we are pushing down. Our stochastic is pushing away, RSI is pushing away, we have a red dot. Our money flow is getting close to that neutral, so we could break bearish on the daily, so that's not very good, as if we go bearish, we could start to lose strength. Our VWAP is struggling to maintain any bullish momentum and could start to come down, and that could bring our momentum down, as that's usually what leads our momentum. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we've kind of just jumped up, hit the top here. We did solidify pretty much an ascending channel that we mapped out last night, and we started to drop away from it. We did kind of make a bounce here, so that is solidifying the bottom here again, so we could see a little bit of a drop. Even if we go further down here, that could still attribute to us getting sucked in that golden pocket, kind of like I mentioned yesterday. Stochastic is pushing away, RSI is pushing away, our VWAP is pushing away, making lower lows, so overall our momentum could see more downside if that continues. Our money flow is struggling to get past this 13, we can't really push above, so if we start to curl out here, we could see a drop sooner than later. However, we could see this try and get a little bit of a jump as we hit the top, and then we may get a pullback, and then maybe we fall through at that point. Usually you'll get multiple touches before an up channel breaks to the downside. Over on the 2 hour, our momentum is in the bearish zone, so our momentum's pretty oversold right now. Our VWAP's making lower lows. It is currently trying to come up. It is around this 5 zone. That is a pretty decent support resistance. You can see multiple wave points on both ends. So there is somewhat of a sticking point. If we can't get through that, we could curl under, and that momentum could start to drop even further. Our money flow is starting to push away. Stochastic is in the bearish territory, overall getting lower highs. Does have a bullish cross, so it does want to continue up. So we'll have to see if that can actually gain some weight, or if it just kind of rolls over like the last one. Our RSI is getting lower highs and overall losing its strength because the stochastic is in the bearish territory. So overall we look pretty overbought, and we could start to fall on the 2 hour. I would definitely keep an eye on this money flow, especially on the 1 hour here, as we're getting very close to breaking through. We almost broke through a little while ago, so we could break through soon if we're not careful and give up our money flow into the bearish territory, which if that leads into the higher time frames, we could see some sell-off. Our stochastic is getting a new high here, even though price is getting a lower high, so that is a little bit of a bullish divergence, so that might take us to the top of this channel. Stochastic is trying to push up, RSI is overall sliding, our money flow is getting close to breaking through. Like I said, VWAP is trying to push up, and our momentum is trying to come up as our VWAP is trying to push bullish. So if our VWAP can continue, our momentum wave will be able to come up a little bit more. So hopefully we can see a little bit of a push up if you want some more bullish momentum. But if the money flow does break, like I said, just brace yourself. Over on the daily for graph, we are making a little bit of a bounce off this on this Fibonacci line, so that is good for us. We could get a little bit of a bounce and try to retest this value area high that we didn't quite make it to. Our stochastic is pretty overbought currently and starting to bend though, so just keep an eye on that. Our RSI is starting to point away, and our momentum is starting to round off as our VWAP is starting to fall. Our money flow is rejecting away from that neutral line, so we do have bearish momentum on our money flow still, so that could bring us lower. Over on the 4 hour, we have bullish money flow, so it's kind of weird that our daily is starting to reject away, even though our 4 hour is staying in the green. and even got a new high today. Our stochastic is starting to fall away, RSI is starting to fall away, momentum's starting to curl away, but we are maintaining this zone. So if we do make a push up, we would be able to solidify a bounce. However, every time we just ride this area, we could end up weakening it and ultimately falling, so just watch out for that possibility as well. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic is trying to overall fall. It has almost no strength, so our RSI could lose some ground if our stochastic doesn't make a recovery. We have a bearish divergence that hasn't taken us anywhere yet, so that could bring us down. Our momentum is in the bearish territory. VWAP is riding under that neutral, so our VWAP could start to curl away if it doesn't manage to gain some momentum here. Our money flow is making new highs, so we did ramp up pretty decently, but we are starting to curl away, so we could see a little bit of a downside if we're not careful here. So we did get kind of a cool off, like I mentioned yesterday. When you get these big run-ups, especially back to back, you typically get some cool offs. Our stochastic is starting to push away here on a daily, so our stochastic is going a little, or hourly, sorry. Our stochastic is going bearish. We are coming close to that neutral line, so watch out. Our RSI is kind of flat still. Money flow was going up, but overall, since we've gone flat, is trying to come out, so just keep an eye on that. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory, and our momentum has a red dot that is starting to push us down, so we could see a little more sell-off if we don't gain some upside on this VWAP and money flow, and see that stochastic bounce off the 30 area. Over on Anchor, we have a green dot, so that wants to push us forward. Our volume profile looks really weird on Anchor. I'll have to fix that. Our RSI is trying to point up, stochastic is trying to head up, momentum is trying to head up, but overall not looking too strong. Our VWAP is trying to head up, and our money flow is just riding under that neutral line, so it's not really able to break to the bullish side. We'll need that to break through, otherwise it could start to push away on us. Over on the 4 hour, our stochastic is pushing up, our RSI is trying to push up, our momentum's starting to come up, our VWAP's starting to come down, so that could push our momentum down. Our money flow was in the bullish territory pretty strongly, but after making a bounce, but it's about to test. It did test one more time here, so we could break through as we're kind of losing our strength. Our VWAP is coming down as well, so that could attribute to us breaking down. If we look over at the 2 hour, our stochastic's about to make a bearish cross, has a bearish divergence. Our RSI is starting to round off, momentum's starting to round off, our VWAP is starting to push down. It's trying to round off just above that neutral line though, so that could help push us up. Our money flow is trying to come up and make a little bit of a ramp up, so that could help push us up as well. But just keep an eye out as we also do have bearish signals. Over on the 1 hour, if we take a zoom out here, our stochastic is trying to push a little bit here. We do have a bullish cross. RSI is trying to push. We have a red dot though, so that could bring us down. Momentum's starting to push away. Our money flow is struggling to push any higher, so we kind of came up to this 10 zone and rejected away multiple times. So just watch out for us to break in the bearish territory on the daily. Our VWAP also is starting to round off and could break in the bearish territory as well. So I would definitely keep an eye on the hourly. Over on XRP, over on the daily, we are just kind of indecisive, don't know where we want to go. Have a doji candle, stochastic's trying to ramp up, our RSI's trying to push down, VWAP's trying to push away, money flow's starting to curl out. Our momentum could start to curl away if our VWAP continues to push down. So overall, we're not really decisive of where we want to go, and kind of stuck in this I don't know phase. There was some pretty decent news with some hedge funds trying to acquire XRP or manage some XRP on the stock exchange, but it's not really helping or hurting any. So over on the 4 hour, our RSI is trying to push up, but overall starting to lose its strength and arch out. Our stochastic is pushing away, wants to make a bullish cross, so that could help push our RSI higher. We'll have to see if it can kind of push through. Currently it did break through that neutral line and is bearish. Our money flow is in the bullish territory and maintaining that bullish momentum, so that is good for us. Our VWAP is trying to push up, but overall we're kind of wishy-washy here. Over on the 2 hour, if we look, our RSI is overall starting to fall still. We did kind of push up, but didn't really go very far. VWAP is trying to head up. Money flow is starting to come down still. Our momentum wants to round up with a green dot. So if that VWAP can manage to maintain its bullish trajectory, that could push our momentum up. But our stochastic's looking like it wants to round off. We are right around that neutral, so if it rounds off and pushes down here, it could bring our RSI down, which could also help bring everything else down. And just keep in mind, our money flow is really close to that neutral. Over on the 1 hour, we did get a bounce on that money flow off that neutral line, so that is good for us, and we are trying to make a higher high. So we do have that going, but we are kind of at a resistance area around this 9 where we've rejected a few times. So just watch out for a rejection and a break. Our momentum is trying to come up, but our stochastic's about to make a bearish cross that could push us lower, as our RSI is starting to arch down as well. So we do have a few bearish signals here and some signals that could start to slip away. So I would definitely keep your eyes on the next few candles here. I know it's kind of been just wishy-washy in the next few days, but we are pretty much in a zone where we don't have too much more upside, and it's better to be a little more careful. Over on algo, we are kind of rejecting this higher value area. Can't really manage to break through, so if we don't get a push up on our altcoins, we could see that reject away, and we could break the point of control. Our stochastic has a bearish cross and is pushing down. RSI is pushing away. VWAP is rejecting away. Momentum's not really that strong. And our money flow is starting to reject away with a new low. So overall, we're not too strong looking here on the daily. Over on the 4 hour, we have a manipulation X that could bring us down. We are trying to get a little bit of a tweezer bottom that could try to push us higher, and we are trying to break bullish on our money flow, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But our stochastic is overall falling pretty rapidly. Our RSI is trying to make a bounce, but doesn't really have very much strength. And our VWAP is making lower lows and trying to make a little bit of a recovery. But overall, if it keeps dropping like this, we'll bring our momentum down. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is starting to slip here. We have bearish divergence on momentum that pushed our momentum down. Our momentum wants to get a bit of a recovery as our VWAP's trying to break bullish. Our stochastic's trying to get a bit of a bounce off that neutral line. And our money flow overall is losing strength, so we're kind of wishy-washy here. We have our RSI and money flow losing strength, but our VWAP and stochastic and momentum want to push up on us. So we'll have to keep an eye on if those three can push up and maintain. Otherwise, if they push away and start to round off, we could lose our strength. Finally, on the 1 hour, our stochastic's starting to round off, RSI is starting to round off, VWAP's starting to round off, money flow is starting to round off and could break through that neutral. So overall, we're not looking very strong on the 1 hour. Our momentum wave is starting to round away, so if that VWAP does start to push into the bearish territory, we're likely to see a red dot. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.